Welcome to Catfish Weekly, along with James Smith. I'm Lyle Stokes. And James, we're going to do something a little bit different tonight.
Sound fun.
Well, yeah, it is going to be. We're going to welcome in Chad with Fishing with the Chad. Damn thing.
It does start it already.
Yeah. It done starting. I ain't even said nothing, and I already got him going.
We got a bunch of folks in the chat tonight, and we're going to have a little fun. We're probably going to give away some Catfish Weekly decals tonight. But I wanted to bring Chad in here tonight because he's a good guy. For one, he does a great job with his show because he puts up with James Dockery every Thursday night. My God, he's a saint. Nobody even realizes it. But
every day I check the mail looking for my Halo to arrive.
I bet you do. But I'm gonna have a little procedure done, and I'm gonna be out for a week or two. Not sure if it's 2 or 3 or maybe not that many. We don't know yet. We're just gonna see. It's nothing life-threatening or major catastrophe. It's just stuff that I don't want to be doing while I'm doing shows. So Chad has graciously entertained the idea of stepping in and helping you, James, to do this, and I really appreciate it. Of course, I'll be doing my best to get you guys some quality guests set up so you guys can have great shows and do all that. But I thought we'd bring him in tonight, kind of warm him up a little bit or cool him off, however it runs. I'm not sure how that'll be.
We'll see.
Yeah. But compared to Dockery, James, you and I ought to be easy peasy for him.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, at least with Dockery, he don't ever know which way Dockery's going to come at him, does it?
No, he does not. And whether he's coming at him from both directions or not. But Chad, welcome to Catfish Weekly, and congratulations on a new personal best blue cat. That was a great fish.
Yep. Thank you very much, sir.
42 pounds, is that what it was?
It was about 41 to 42. I could not lock that daggone scale in for nothing.
That's a great fish, man.
In the net, so
that's a great fish. Congratulations on that. I seen you and Dee had caught several fish here, not this past weekend, but weekend before.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been doing a lot of tournaments and stuff. And how you liking the tournament scene?
I enjoy the challenge of it. I had one this past weekend where I may or may not have ran my mouth about these people on the other side of the river, and went up there and placed a nice big skunk. So yeah. I've been kind of laying low on Facebook and Messenger and all that because
you're not afraid of Betty, are you?
No, luckily Betty was in South Carolina, so she wasn't even there to tease me about
it. Brandon's pretty good, but I wouldn't want to make Betty mad. I don't think she cares much of the tournament stuff, though.
No, there was quite a few people up there though from the YouTube crowd. Got to meet several people, and that was pretty cool. We actually had a dinner together, a couple of us, so
that's awesome.
It was pretty nice.
That's the fun part of doing tournaments. Is get to share your time with people. What do you guys say we welcome some of the people in chat in tonight?
I like it.
Like a winner to me.
All right, James, why don't you go ahead and take off?
I'm gonna scan up to the top. I see Dale Hayslip. He's a bobber owner, avid fisherman. Get hooked. There's Miss D's in the house. Weekend angler Alan. I'm not even going to attempt to say your last name because I do not want to butcher it. But hey, Alan, country
Alan
boy.
Piershala.
There you go, Miss Paula Smith. There's Mark's in the house with Catfish and Crappie. Ernie Brown, Thomas Littlepage. I know his wife or girlfriend's in here somewhere. That would be his wife. I apologize for that. So take off with it. Fishing with Robbie.
Ernie Brown, Country Boy Catfishing, Avid, the Weekend Ditch Pickler. Josh is in here.
He's got a birthday tomorrow.
Josh's birthday's tomorrow. Happy birthday, Josh. Sean Abney, Mike Sampson, Avid, JP3. Let's see what we got here.
The Hayes is in the house. Michael Marlowe, I think it's how you say it. fine.
Greenwell Fishing. Mad Catter. Sharina keeping it real. Watched her on Abbage last night. Done a very nice job in there.
Very.
There is the James Dockery Fishing.
I like that guy, Chad Nolte. He's just got a name that just
Jumps right out there at you, don't he?
It does.
Oh, man.
Mr. Greenwell's in the house. Guys and gals, I want to apologize. This past 2 weeks, I have been covered up. I haven't caught any of y'all shows. I watch them about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So y'all do get watched. It's just not live. Haven't been getting home to almost 10 o'clock. So I do apologize for not catching y'all live.
There's Bob from Fins and Finds outside with the haze. I said Dale's name.
Miss Cindy's in the house watching us.
George Ray, that's a new name for me.
Yep.
Thomas Littlepage.
Chrissy Brown.
Several of them in here tonight. It's not flying by like it does sometimes. It's still going pretty fast.
Yeah, George Ray, that's a new one to me.
Yeah, it is. My wife
got a Stingray
is in there. Brad
I've been
Beck.
starting to see George around a little bit.
Good deal.
Good.
Always glad to have you and new people. And I want to thank you for joining our show tonight.
So what that means, guys and gals, check out his channel, share up the love, and share up the bait.
That's a correct.
Catfish 1000.
Catfish, that's another new one. Welcome.
Yeah, that's another new one too. There's Papa Ed's in the house with us tonight.
Boys, I do have some results from the West Tennessee catfish anglers. The results were sent to me by Brian Mayo. First place was Steve Hearn and Josh Patterson with 65.99 pounds. Second place, Danny Hartsfield and Jeremy Cates, 48.59 pounds. Third place was Chris Payton with 39.02 pounds. Fourth place was Lewis Miller and Joseph Clark, 36.40 pounds. Bank of Ripley Big Cat was Chris Payton with 25.92 pounds. And B&M second Big Cat, Danny Cates, 20.75 pounds. So the weather was mid-60s and low 70s, steady rain with some lightning, mild winds out of the south, 65 degrees, light muddy, and 111 level and rising. Dams spilling 140 plus. Sounds like they had a pretty good time.
Yep. They sound like them guys that was on Santee this weekend had a rough time.
Yes.
Sustained 20-mile-an-hour winds with 30-mile-an-hour gust, and said it got rough, but there was an 80-pounder brought to the scales.
Nice.
That's a hoss.
Yes.
That is a big fish, yeah.
Santee's making a good comeback, Lyle, after they stopped all that commercial fishing and stuff down there. It's making a good comeback.
It really bothers me that these guys that makes these rules and regulations don't think far enough past their nose to see what's going to happen. And they do this stupid stuff, and then they say, oh, my God, look what we're doing to the catfish. We can't do that. Well, you should have done it to start with. But, you know, they have to figure it out the hard way, I guess. I'm kind of like that, always was. But we're talking about a resource that takes 25 or 30 years to replace what they take out today. So,
yeah. And I mean, it's good that the lake is fertile enough and it still had the good DNA left in it that it still could produce those big fish.
That's exactly right.
That's one thing I always worried about was if the lake gets that DNA out of it, then you're going to produce small fish unless you have a very rare fish that'll take off and go. That's
exactly right. That's exactly right. You know, Santee is a lake, and there's a series of lake. Now, correct me if I'm wrong as I go through this, because I've not been there. But I understand that it is a series of lakes, one after the other,
yes.
And a short river that connects all of them. Is that correct?
The Catawba River chain, it actually runs from the mountains down through North Carolina and into South Carolina. And, you know, you got a few lakes above Lake Norman, but Lake Norman is one of the biggest lakes that it actually stops first in. Thank you, Avid. And then you have Mountain Island, and then you got Lake Wiley, then you got Fishing Creek, Watery, and then that dumps on into Santee, the upper lake, and then it dumps into the lower lake, and then it dumps into the ocean.
But you don't have a system like the Mississippi or the Missouri where they go for ungodly amounts of time, and the fish can make it from one end to the other anytime they want to and replenish places that are depleted, and I believe the Ohio River, due to the fact it's hooked to the Mississippi River, would replenish itself if they'd stop letting the limits be so liberal and give the fish a chance to migrate up there and figure out that they want to be there. But until they do that, every time one makes it up through there, it gets in a net, and the next thing you know, it's gone. So, but I think the Mississippi River system, which includes nearly everything in the center part of the United States, Missouri River and Ohio River, all those connect to the Mississippi River. And the Mississippi River is such a good source that I believe it would help feed them, but they've got to slow down on the outtake before it'll ever make a difference. And that's what you're saying is basically happening over there. They stopped the commercial fishing.
And see, the upper and the lower lake of Santee actually has canals connecting them so the fish can migrate back and forth between the two lakes.
That's awesome.
But the other lakes do not. So they don't have no way for those fish to make it past the dams to the next lake.
Yeah. We got some more people coming in here. There's Kevin with Palmetto Cats and Parker Pursuits, Sean T Outdoors. I seen another one or two just a minute ago. If somebody sees one. Yeah,
Miss Betty's in the house with us tonight.
Betty
Mike
Jean,
Sampson.
All Betty. But yeah, I've always been a big proponent of conservation. And there's people out there with organizations that are telling everybody all about conservation. They don't know nothing about it. If they did, they wouldn't be doing it the way they're doing it, which is what I'm saying is, if you don't trust somebody, don't send them your money. But there is a lot of things going on that could be stopped and slowed down, but it's all has to start with conservation. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you can't get on board and get the legislatures or the divisions of Department of Conservation, whatever is in your state, if you can't get them behind what you're trying to get done, it ain't going to happen. And the number one thing it takes to get anything done is make catfish a sport fish in your state. If you do not get that done, you will not get regulations. It's a proven fact.
No. I mean, you can actually get, Dieter's proven that you can get some good restrictions put in place without it becoming a sport fish. Truthfully, I do not think the flathead catfish will ever be made a sport fish. It might somewhere in the future, but I don't think in the near future, simply because it has been declared an invasive species.
And that is sad because if I am correct again, James, and Chad, jump in here if you have something you want to say, but James and I get rolling. My understanding, James, is in your neck of the woods, they brought the blue catfish in. They also brought the flatheads in. Well, you can't bring them in and leave them there for 100 years and then say they're invasive because you took them and put them there. So suck it up.
Right. Now, Wiley is the only lake that was not stocked with those fish simply because it borders North and South Carolina. And there's still a 200-year-old war between North and South Carolina, and they cannot get along enough to stock that lake. Actually, the fishermen and some migrating fish through the dam, eggs or small or whatever's made it from Mountain Island down. But mainly it's the fishermen that stock that lake with the blues and the flatheads.
Hold on. This gentleman says it's a sport to us, and it is. And the guy's name is Michelob's Dirt Fishing.
Oh, I hear you.
And I love that name. I really do.
He likes Michelob.
Mike Irvin. Benjamin's Boys Big Cat. Welcome, fellas. Country Boy Catfishing. Michelob. That caught my eye right off the bat.
But I think you're very. I was actually enjoying your all's exchange right there, talking about the regulations and such like that. And Lyle, me and you've talked a lot about my area.
Yeah,
and Kentucky did make some changes the beginning of last year. Now it's just it's enforcing it though.
It takes time for those regulations, and they're not gonna. It didn't lose all them what they had in a year or two. It took 30 years probably in the making.
Yeah.
And it's going to take that long because you're not going to get them legislatures to move very far, very fast at a time. It's going to be calculated things so they don't make this group mad or that group mad or this group mad. In the meantime, the fishermen are the ones suffering. They're the maddest of all, and there's nothing they can really do about it except stay on them and keep after getting those regulations passed. And
Lyle,
sir?
I got to thinking about something. Me and Wampus Cat was talking, and I really got to thinking about something. And the other week on one of my shows, I guess I was kind of perturbed about some stuff, and some people recognized that. And they messaged me and texted me the next day, "Oh, don't quit. And I don't have no intentions on quitting." So, but I guess they misread how I was feeling. I was having a bad day anyway, and I guess it showed in the show. Long story short, they had mentioned some things that a lot of times we as show hosts, we see chat buzzing by, and we're trying to bring some good content for y'all to learn. We all should be learning every time we watch somebody's videos or we go fish, and we should constantly be learning. If we don't, we need to find a new hobby.
That's right.
But with that being said, some of the things these guys and gals told me, I never thought it went past these four walls. I really didn't, because chat was flying at the time that was said. With that being said, coming back to regulations, all it takes is for that one young man that's father is a politician. He's wildlife head man. All it takes is for that one person's son to be excited about catfishing.
That's right.
To get the ball rolling.
So
when we host these shows, I want to make sure that I bring good content, very informational and proper and right content.
That's
not
right.
Lies, not conjecture, not thinking that it works this way. Yeah. But if I tell you this works this way, it's a tried and true process of catching fish that will work for you. And if not on that waters that you fish, maybe on the waters that you're going to fish.
Right.
So
that's
the way I look at it, guys. So if we want to get these regulations changed, Chad, like you said, is happening up in Kentucky now. It's getting the ball rolling a little bit. Think about who's in your chat.
That's right.
Yep. That's a good point.
It is. I got a message here from Paul Smith. Lyle, you missed my post. Paul, I'm very sorry I have missed your post. I have been tied up the last 2 days doing some stuff. In case nobody can tell, which I know that they can't, I have run this show for 5 years out of a 2-car garage that we made into a studio. I also did rod work and tied jigs and everything else in there. Tonight, I am in a room in the house that we've turned into a studio for me. So I don't have to heat and cool the garage and do all the other stuff. If I fall over, Cindy can run in here right quick, pick me up, send me back in my chair. I'll be good to go. When she gets dinner fixed, she can say, "Lyle, dinner's ready," instead of saying, "Hey, Lyle, come get your food." She don't have to yell at me. No, we're right here together. It's working out really good. I hope the sound is good because I was a little concerned about it.
It sounds good.
Yes.
But I am sorry, Paula, that I missed your post. I'll try to find that before Wednesday when I get some stuff done. But this is going to work out. I was concerned about it because I'm used to having a lot of room, and I don't have near as much room. But you know what? I don't need that much. The work and stuff is still going to be done out there, but it's a lot neater, cleaner, easier, and the dog don't seem to mind being in here too much, although she's not in here now. But if everything's going to go all right, we're just going to leave things like it is and continue on. I got 2 desks instead of 1, and seems to be working out good for me.
And you just told the truth on you. You just moved closer to the food.
That's exactly right. Now, this camera that I'm using tonight's on just a little bit of a taller tripod than I need, and I will be lowering that down, but we're going to have to bear with it tonight, and I'll try to do my best to give you guys some eye contact. But the one that I used the other night when we done the first broadcast in here, I got it predisposed tonight, so this was the one that was available, but I got 3 or 4, so we'll get it figured out. And
I'm just happy that Cindy, after all these years, finally let you back in the house.
Yeah, no kidding. I feel kind of good about that.
There's Miss Cam's in the house with us tonight, Lyle.
Hey, Cam, how you doing?
We got a bunch of new people.
Uncle Lou, which happens to be a good friend of mine, has, I understand, started a tackle shop or something. His name's Lee Reed. Very nice guy, very knowledgeable cat fisherman, and just a real good guy to be around. And there is the Dieter Melhorn.
How many we got in chat right now?
Buckeye Catfish. How many's in chat? Let me look here. We have 68 right at the moment.
I just seen a bunch of new names come through there.
It may not have caught up yet.
Right.
I just seen a comment from Dieter. I just want Dieter to know that they brought me in tonight for my looks, because I am pretty dashing cat fisherman. So
that's what Mark said. Mark told me the same thing about you. There's Harley Neal, Fishing Frustrations. That's a new name. Buckeye Catfishing, Hilljack Catfishing. I've seen him before, but not recently. Ernie Brown.
Yeah, it was that hijack catfishing. There was another one up in here that caught my eye.
Experience. I had the privilege of being on the Bullock Experience as a show on Tuesday evenings. Last week I had the privilege of being on. I believe it was his first show, and we had a really good time and done a good job. So check him out on Tuesday nights, and he's early.
6 p.m. Eastern?
What's that?
I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern.
Well, that would be about right. I was going to say 5 Central, so that would be just about right. There's Half Crazy.
Yep. There's Slime Action Outdoors and Clearview Outdoors. There's a few names that I didn't recognize or haven't seen before. And if I haven't, Fishing Frustrations. Appreciate y'all coming in, guys and gals.
Fishing with Paula. Ken is writing a proposal making any catfish 34 inches or more a sport fish. That makes it legal to sell these fish. I know if he can get it passed in Tennessee, but it will help lots of other states. Well, I hope that works out. I can't imagine them making them a sport fish unless they do them all. I don't think they'll go with a size thing, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, Lyle, that might actually help both sides of the dice.
Whatever it takes. If they think it'll work, then I'm okay with it. I just get something done.
Right.
Get something done. Every little bit, every little grain.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of fish under 34 inches that could keep that part of the industry going. Plus, leaving good DNA in the water for your bigger fish.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Mike's Outdoors and Adventures. We appreciate it so very much. Katie Collins, been missing you on the show on Sunday nights. Need to be a breeding fish.
Yep. You're exactly right, Cindy.
Like you're saying, anything that they can do, even if it's one step at a time, sometimes it just takes baby steps and crawling to get, one little tweak in it.
We'll take it all, anything. And when I say we'll take anything, I mean anybody in Missouri will go to help the boys in Ohio. The boys in Ohio will help the guys in Illinois. People don't understand that true conservationists are for all catfish, not just the ones in their area, but they're willing to stick their head out there and wait for it to be chopped off to help his neighbor state or a state 2 states away if it means it's going to be the betterment of the sport. I've noticed that for years, and a lot of people bypass. They say, well, we got to do this and that in the state of Ohio, or this or that in the state of Indiana. Well, you know what? I'm with you, boys. And I have asked for help from guys like Dieter and James and people out east when we needed letters sent to the Missouri Department of Conservation. And my God, we got them by the tons. They called me. It was about 10 years ago. Please stop asking people to email us. The Missouri Department of Conservation has a regulation that when you go to work in the morning on your desk, if you have emails to you, you got to answer them before you can do your job. That's the first thing you do every morning. And they said, please stop. We can't get anything done. And I did. I said, okay, that's they got the point. But that wasn't just from the people from Missouri. By God, there was millions of them from Missouri, I believe. But there was from every state that we touched with Catfish Weekly. And I know, James, you and Dieter and a lot of guys out your way and a bunch of guys in Ohio and Indiana, they made a difference on them. And it wasn't too long till we had the regulations on Lake Ozark and Truman and the tributaries. So that's how it works, but you got to work together.
And guys and gals, there's a video out there that's on the flathead catfish in Florida, how they introduced that fish, and then the brim fishermen and started raising cane because it depleted them for just a short time. They tried to get rid of them, spent millions of dollars trying to get rid of the flathead catfish. They couldn't get rid of it, and all of a sudden, the brim made a comeback. Bigger bluegills, healthier bluegills, and the panfish population bloomed to bigger, stronger DNA.
That's exactly
and the catfish just brought all that chaos in and said, you need this fish to straighten everything out. And it did.
That's right. And,
that's a good video.
Chad, I'm sorry we're not letting you in here.
I'm enjoying it. Let's go ahead.
I'm getting ready to hit him up live.
James and I get on a roll on this stuff. We're kind of hard to handle, but there was a study done when the last year that we done tournaments, and then for a few years after that, from a group of students from the Southern Illinois University, and they was testing Asian carp and big heads, and they would take the fish in the tournament and they would see what percentage of their diet come from Asian carp. It was astronomical. And come to find out, Asian carp has become a natural food source for all catfish. In fact, the catfish are basically the only natural thing, that gar, that will kill them and eat them. And just try to do something, because you're not going to stop the population explosion of Asian carp. You're just not going to stop it. They waited too long. There was idiotic asses that let them into the United States to start with. We're stuck with them.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's use them to the benefit we got. If we're going to have to deal with them, let's let them catfish eat them and let them grow, because there's protein in those Asian carps, and they're not bad eating. I've eaten them. The protein factor in there is helping our catfish grow to bigger growth rates than we've ever had in our lifetime. Now, it might not have been the biggest growth rate that they've ever had, but in our lifetime, I believe that they is. The only problem is that they get so big so fast that they get too big for the catfish to handle. But they're prolific. They keep them coming, and it's a great food source for our catfish.
The bigger they are, the more bait you get.
That's exactly right, and we use a lot of it for bait. There's Junior Proctor.
I like cut bait.
I do too. I like it a lot. There's Ace.
Creole's in the house with us. Now, Chad, you've got the Asian carp in your waters, right?
We do have some. They're not as noticeable as when you go down to, the Mississippi and stuff, where you see guys going through and they're flying all over the river. Right. But actually, one of the local guys around here, he's Jamie B Fishing, or Jamie B Catfishing. He literally just dropped a video, I think Saturday or Sunday, in the pool that I fish, where he snagged about a 20 or 25 pound Asian carp. There has been other people that have seen them, but they're not to the extreme like they are down by on the Mississippi.
For a long time, I watched James Dockery make videos. I didn't think he knew how to catch anything other than Asian carp.
The only thing I thought he could catch was a dock roof.
Sonny Parker, welcome. K&B Angling. Where have you been, brother? We've been missing you.
Yeah. I sent a video the other day. This dude caught 100-pound Asian carp.
Yeah.
That was a freaking monster.
Yeah. Northeast Kansas, welcome.
And what I understand, that's a hard fighting fish, ain't it?
They are. They're extremely hard fighting. And I know James does go out and he snags for them like you would anything else. And it doesn't have to be in great big bodies of water. And he snags the crap out of them, and him and his daughter have a great time doing that. And he told us, I believe he feeds them to dogs, don't he?
Yeah. I think that's what they stockpile the freezer for the wintertime to feed some of the animals and stuff.
I'm sure he uses some of it for bait, and like I say, it makes really good bait. It really
dog food. There you go, high protein.
Yeah. High protein. If you got any kind of high-powered dog, you'd be wanting that.
Yep.
There's Brad Bex. He says the Asian carp are making their way up to the White River in Indiana. Well, I would say enjoy them, but there's nothing enjoyable about them.
Yeah.
Yep. Use them for fertilizer.
That's right.
Daggum right.
Yep.
I'd rather have that as fertilizer than the human stuff they spray on the fields.
I agree with that. Sonny
Thinking
says
of
they
the
should
whole
grind it
freaking
up for
countryside.
pet food. That's true.
From my understanding is that they have factories, and I don't know if they're still doing it, but down on the lower part of the Ohio River, and it might be on the Mississippi too. I don't know if you know or not, where they actually have those Asian carp tournaments, and they bring in 10 and 20,000 pounds in these tournaments in one boat.
Yeah,
and they're not even making a dent though with that. No. But they're giving it to these processing plants, and that's exactly what they do. They're turning it into dog food and such like that.
Yeah, Justin's fishing fetish. I want to eat an Asian carp. Well, Justin, they have really big bones in them, so you cut the tenderloin basically out of it, throw the bait out of the rest of it, or dog food, or whatever you want to do. They are really white, flaky meat. Once you get the nasty old hide off of them, and that hide has to be cut off practically, it's a very flaky white meat, very similar to catfish. It doesn't taste exactly like catfish, but it's not bad eating if you put some kind of seasoning on it. They're very good. The problem with Asian carp is if they jump in your boat, anything they touch, they bleed on. So if you got carpet or anything like that, you get the power washer out every time when you come home. That's just the way it is. They're slimy and they smell. But once you start cleaning them and get down to the meat, that's all gone. They are very edible. Is this something I'd want to eat every meal? Absolutely not. But they're not bad at all. The people in China and places, Taiwan, places that don't have nothing to eat, they're thrilled to get it. Believe me.
Well, I think there's a couple of companies that actually buy that Asian carp from the fishermen down here and ship them to Asia, don't they?
Yes.
I thought
now,
so.
I don't have any of their information, but there was 3 plants at one time that was doing that. And I don't know how many of them are still left. Hey, if they could get rid of enough of it to make it feasible for commercial fishermen to go out and net these fish and make a profit on it,
yes,
they might as well be getting those since there are so many of them and leaving the others alone.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
What do you think about that? Team Mayo says we use a treble hook tied behind the boat to catch for bait. That sounds like a plan to me.
I still think a Mossberg 12-gauge shotgun with 3.5-inch magnums today, skeet shooting be the funnest thing.
My buddy Keith used to talk about doing that all the time. I said, we can't do that, man.
They'll lock you up.
Can't do that in Missouri. Clearview Outdoors. Welcome. Glad to see you in here tonight.
Yeah, I believe that'd be fun.
I got to see him this weekend.
What's that?
I got to see him this weekend.
Yep.
And Ernie Brown,
Cool.
Chrissy Brown.
There's a note from Mark at Catfish and Crappie, which follows us as soon as we're off of the air, and he has a great guest tonight. Violet Talley will be there talking fishing with Mark, so be sure to tune into that. She's extremely knowledgeable, very much sponsored bass tournament angler, and she knows her business, so you don't miss that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her on the show the last time.
Yep. Yeah, she was really good. Fishing in Mid-South. How are you doing? You have heard of Dark Water Premium Baits. They are packaging Asian carp for SA. Good deal. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. We don't want them here. I don't care how beneficial they are. We don't want them here. Keep them out there where y'all at.
Parker Pursuits, buddy. I'm telling you, I would love to do that, but I can't. I'm too old. I just can't. I'm too old, too pretty. If they get me in jail, I'm in trouble.
I wonder how many would roll up with a stick of dynamite. You drop it in a big school of them.
I don't know, but I don't want to be any part of getting in trouble with that either.
No. But you're right, Lyle. If the industry actually would support the money, then I'm sure that a lot of those big commercial fishermen would change over to netting them, because it'd be a lot freaking easier to net them than it would be catfish, wouldn't it?
I would think it would be, yeah. There's Zach Murray. Welcome to the show tonight, Zach. But yeah, I there's a lot of ways to go around this, and like I say, it took years to get the catfish in the shape that it's in some areas. In other areas, it's not so bad. But we can fix it. It's just going to take some time. Everybody working together, not getting real pissy all the time. Try to work with each other and try to use your heads and make intelligent decisions, and take every little bit is a gain, and that's a win. So whatever it takes, we're just going to have to Amazon catfishing. Welcome.
Lyle, and I think one thing that'll help too is we talk about the regulations. We've done a lot of talk about that tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But up in the top right part of your screen, you have a very important sticker, and the talk that we do as a community to people about CPR is part of what's going to continue to help maintain what we got, and maybe even help a little bit on our part, right? We can talk about the commercial fishermen all night, but we still have to do our part as well, as educating people. Like, I'll be honest, just like I used to be, I was ignorant when it came to catfishing and CPR, or any kind of species of proper harvest and releasing some of what I was catching and what I was releasing.
That's exactly right. And since you brought that up, I'm gathering up the folks that are in chat right now, and what do you say we give away one of them decals?
I like that.
Me. Go ahead. I'm gonna answer this text from K and B.
Okay.
All right.
Chad, give me a number between 1 and 5.
You shouldn't let me pick, because I'm going to pick 5 just to be me.
I'll take it. 1. 2. Have you been talking to Doc? 3.
He may or may not
4.
have told me to pick on you tonight.
He always checked 5. And the winner is Fishing Frustrations.
Nice.
Fishing Frustrations. If you'll message me your shipping address after the show, either on Messenger or send me a message to catfishweeklytv@gmail.com and send me your shipping address in, I will send you out a decal.
Or in the UK.
I don't care. But thank you, Dee.
She'll hear you in a minute.
You know what?
Yes, sir.
I think we can get him one. If he wants one, if he wants one bad enough to send me his address, I'll see if he gets him. It can't be that much to send it.
We'll make it happen. Yeah, I wouldn't think so with that.
Yeah. Did you see the post from Junior Proctor?
I did not.
He said, and people like to steal Patriot James's bobbers. He was dragging some floats the other day, and one got hung up and broke off. And he said, I had just a little short way, so I was going to finish my dragging and then go back and get the float. He said, and there was a boat over there, seen me dragging them. Well, he said, as soon as I got on up the lake, they pulled anchor, shot over there, grabbed the barber, and hauled tail down the lake. They stole his float from him.
Oh, Junior. Junior, I hate a thief, but damn, that's funny.
He said, but I know what their boat looks like.
I think he probably could come up with another one.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, while we're talking about Junior, we're putting all this stuff back in my boat, getting ready to take it out. And what do you think was one of the first things that went in that boat?
There you go.
A set of Junior Proctor planer boards, and rocking. And they are right there ready to be hooked on and drug across Palm de Terre Lake when I get there.
He's going to be a sponsor of the tournament, too, my tournament, Lyle.
Bless his heart. He's such a great guy. Quality products, and, man, the guy is knowledgeable. If you get a chance, go and check out his YouTube page. He does a lot of fishing with his grandson. They catch the crap out of big blues.
Yes. So, I think his grandson's got, that 82-pounder he put in the boat?
It's pretty good size.
Yeah, that's big.
The Northeast Kansas fisherman, James, could you tell us one more time? It keeps it a lot. How to order the floats?
Mr. Kansas, Northeast, is that Northeast Kansas?
Yeah.
Fisherman. Just message me through Messenger, Facebook Messenger. If you don't do Facebook, you can text me at 704-600-8369, and we'll get an order up for you, my friend. Thank you.
Sonny Parker, I will take them sinkers with me. They're already in my tackle bag. Fishing frustrations. You can contact me at Messenger at Catfish Weekly, or you can email me at catfishweeklytv@gmail.com. SK Crappie Catching Adventures. If you guys get a chance, he's on late at night on Wednesday night. There's 3 or 4 guys that get in there and they talk about catching crappie, and they know what they're talking about. If you like pan fishing and dealing with that, get in there and check SK out. What a great guy he is. He's so knowledgeable. He's got some of the best videos online about catching crappie. Really enjoy what he does. And while you're at it, tune in on Thursday nights for Panfish Nation, where we do the same thing that we're doing tonight, except we talk about bluegill and
crappie.
Yeah, crappie and bass and anything that'll fit in a pan.
That's right.
If it'll fit in a pan, we're talking about it. Yes, sir.
Mr. Cody Tippett is in here. He's been a supporter. He actually ordered some floats from me, and I had a float that I had messed around when I first started making my big ones. Mm-hmm. And I took a little old a tube and actually cut 2 holes in it, like eyeball holes in the pool noodle, all the way down to the plastic insert, and then cut a mouth on it. And I had it around, messing around with it. And I thought, I'm just going to randomly put it in somebody's package. And Cody Tippett ordered some floats from me, and he's got a little baby daughter, and right there's the picture.
Oh, sweet.
And he said he's going to have to put another set of batteries in there. She uses it as a nightlight.
Oh.
And because it's got eyes and mouth and all that on there
that's way
so
cool.
Yeah, it's stuff like that, guys. And it don't matter if it's a product or if it's information that you give somebody. You never know who you'll touch. You see that? Well, it's green. You can't see it.
We can see the outline of the.
There it is. I put a red light in it right there. It is. So you got a little smiley face. So, but it's those little things like that that keep us coming back, y'all. And y'all's comments to us is amazing. It makes it worthwhile, even on days when you just think, man, I could just go back to bed and not even mess with this show tonight.
Yep.
They sure do. I got some messages from Mike Greenwell through Facebook where he sent me some pictures of dark water premium baits. Now, those are Asian carp baits, and I believe John Jameson, who is a well-known tournament catfisherman, has a company that, and I had forgot about this, but I have seen that before, Dark Water Premium Baits, and they have a website, so just go check them out. These are vacuum sealed bags of bait, cut bait, ready to go. Some of the pieces you'll have to cut, some of you wouldn't have to. I use them a lot bigger than that, but it's something that well worth checking into, especially when times are tough to get bait. Because I'm going to tell you something: Asian carp can be froze and refroze and froze and refroze, and when you stick that hook through the skin on them, you really got to cut it off. It's just that tough. So be sure to check them out. Mike Greenwell, thank you so much for sharing that with me.
That's why I was getting ready to ask you, how do they freeze?
I've froze them and thawed them out and froze them and thawed them out. As long as I kept them in a cooler, I didn't have any problem with them, and the fish liked them just the same.
So I've tried it one time. Our local bait shop had it. I bought a piece of it to try out, and I tell you what, I've had snags that were easier to get out than that daggone carp was to get off a hook.
Dude,
I mean, I've had snags that held my boat in place in
when my
high
kid
current.
was growing up, I wish they'd have made shoes out of that stuff.
No doubt.
It's tough. It really is.
It
you ever
is.
seen them skinning pliers that you take skin off fish when you? That's what we use, and try to just cut it and jerk it off of there. And of course, I've never bent or broke a hook or anything doing it, but it's a pain in the butt to get off, but it stays on good. And
get you a new pair of paramedic shears.
That would probably do it. Yeah.
It'll cut right through. It'll cut through boot leather. It'll cut a nickel in half. It'll
Holy
cut
crap.
right through that stuff.
Ernie Brown says, chew it off. I think I'll pass on that. We might get Art to do that from 1 Ton Club. I watched him bite the head off the shad one day, but Lyle's not doing any of that. I mean, none of it. Not at all. What about you, Chad?
Yeah, that ain't happening. I mean, I'm gonna have to be pretty daggone hungry out there, and maybe I could go fishing with Roger and I can throw it on his griddle.
Yeah, maybe
until I can get one on my boat.
I'm not a sushi guy.
Yeah, I'm not either. Always afraid to put that hook in your hand when you're trying to get that Asian carp off. Yeah, got to really be careful. K&B says, I need some of y'all northern boys. Send me some Asian carp vacuum sealed, please.
Yeah,
next
it
time
would
I'm
have
going
to
to be someplace you're at, Kevin, I'll just bring you some because I don't know how to get it to you without it. Of course, I'm not on the river much either, but man, I'm telling you.
He'll be at the tournament, Lyle.
Well, if I get a chance to get some between now and then, I'll grab him some.
And Chad and Dee will be at the tournament too, Lyle.
That's going to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to have a blast. Guess what? We're up to 55 boats now. Well, 55 fishermen. That's labeled. There's more people in there, but it's 55 as far as what's listed right now. That's bank fishermen and boat fishermen.
I wasn't going to say anything tonight, but I'm just going to go ahead and say, with what I got going on Wednesday, Cindy and I are thinking about just coming out and helping you with the tournament.
That's up to you.
We're going to come out one way or the other, and we're going to have a good time. And I've been offered to get in the boats with several people out there, and that's outstanding. But Cindy and I fish together, so it'd have to be a situation where I could do that. Sonny, you're right. Dry ice to get it to them.
Well, you're both pretty tiny, so you can't take up that much room in a boat.
You might be surprised how full-figured I really am. Josh, that'd be great. If you get some of them and get them vacuum sealed and froze, I'll make sure to get them to Kevin. I don't know what them fish down there in Georgia would think of an Asian carp, but as long as it's dead and it's smelly, they ought to bite it. I'd like to see him work it.
Well, I'm sure if there's channel cats in the water, at least a daggone channel cat and all that rascal up.
No, Dieter, I am not.
I need to find the dates on that. We and I were talking about that the other day. It depends on when it is, because I know we'll be in Mendota in May, and we've got a couple other things going on that month.
Yeah, I don't know when it is either, but there's nothing more important to me right now than going to Mendota and catching giant channel cat.
That's right.
if that was the only thing I got to do in the month of May, that's going to happen.
Yep.
Because I know I may not find it, but I know there's a 30-pound channel cat in that lake. It's got my name on it, and I'm
sorry.
I'm looking for home.
Sorry, Pops, that's mine.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, if D will let me have it.
Justin Fishing Fetish says it has to smell better than them Georgia fishermen. Well. And it begins.
I'll tell you what.
Sonny, we had a blast fishing with you. I hope we get to do that again sooner than later. Thank you so much for the comment. We did have a great time. If it smells like chicken, keep on licking. What size of catfish are in Palm de Terre? Northeast Kansas fishermen? I'm not sure. I know they've got some in there. We're going to work on them and see what we can find. We're also going to be after. I understand they got giant bluegill in there, and that's another one that I love to catch, and I know it's full of crappie. I like to eat crappie. I don't find that much fun in catching them, but the big bluegills, now, I love to catch them. So I'll let you know as soon as I find out how big the catfish are, but I've not caught one out there yet. We're going to work on it.
Right.
Uh-oh. I just seen Cindy's comment. She might be taking us all down.
I didn't see what she said.
She said that 30-pounder is hers.
Well, she caught a lot of 20-pound fish the last time we was up there, but I got the big one. So if she catches it, I'll be okay with that.
There you go.
But I want to catch all the 20s then, see?
There you go.
Well, we've Mr. Wampus Cat let me know what we're going to be doing in May. May is supposed to be the 17th year that them big, what we call jar flies, but the caddis flies are coming out.
Oh,
It's the large one. You know, they have smaller ones coming in odd years, but at the 17th year mark is when the largest, it's so loud out there you can't even hear yourself think when they come out. And we're going to go fly fishing with poppers for giant lake common carp.
that'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
They will tear them things off the surface of the water. So you take them fly rods and throw them big poppers out there and hang on for life.
Ace Catfishing, Lyle and Chad, I'm sorry, but I will have that 30-pounder the day before you all get there.
Well, you just go ahead and keep throwing your bait out there, feeding him for us. By the time we catch him, he's going to be about 34 pounds because he's going to have 4 pounds of your bait in his belly. Because we know you ain't catching it, Ace. It's okay.
Betty says, do we really have to argue about this? The big fish is mine. And
y'all practice up.
All this is why we can't worry about anything else in May, because there's so many of us going to be right up there at Mendota and Cherokee Lakes in Wisconsin, and we're going to have a ton of fun.
Well, y'all practice up this year because hopefully I can be with y'all next year.
That'd be great.
So y'all practice on up.
Okay.
And
Sonny says his money's on Cindy.
There you go. Because the way I look at it, that's shallow water fishing for the fish that I love to catch anyway. Yeah, buddy.
It's shallow water, 2 to 4 foot most of that lake. And I think the deepest spot I found it was either 6 or 8 foot, and it wasn't a very big spot. And no fish was in it because they're up there spawning, and they're just looking for places in the shallow to lay them eggs and do their business.
I'll be really good knowing you're fishing that 2 to 4 foot, and just hopefully if you fall in, it's in that 2 foot part, so it only goes up to your chin.
You've been talking to Dockery too much.
I told you somebody's got to. Somebody's got to,
Yeah, Dockery says
take one for Katie, man.
Dockery says you all are going to be really mad when I get that 30 on my Snoopy pole. And I know that he's taken that.
Oh, I know.
Ray Smith, it doesn't matter if Cindy catches a 30, it's because she's fishing with Lyle. Thank you so much. Thank you,
I've
brother.
got
Appreciate
I've
it.
got a rod and reel that I have took with me since I've got back into catfishing. It was my bass reel. It was the Bill Dance Quantum Special.
Yep, I remember those.
And I spooled it up with 20-pound braid, and I have taken that thing and used it every trip catfishing. And I haven't caught a fish on that rod and reel yet.
It's gonna happen, Jack.
And I thought that is my free line. That is my free line rod and reel.
Yep.
It is set up for free lining. A big swivel, a leader, and a hook. That's what it's set up for, is free lining. And I thought, go to Mendota, however you say that. Yeah.
Yep.
Hang on to your drawer, son.
Oh, yeah.
Free lining's coming.
JP3 says, do I have floaters to wear on the water? I do not, but I got a chocolate lab, and if I'm in the water, I'm pretty sure she's going to be in there with me.
Mm-hmm.
So Cindy asked James something on bank. What is she asking there?
James Docker, you on the bank, maybe.
Oh,
okay.
might be.
Dockery and Lyle have matching floaters. I don't think so. Chad, thank you so much for jumping in here with us tonight. I'm looking forward for you helping James out. The two of you will do great for a couple of weeks while I take a rest and get some stuff done. James, as always, I can't thank you enough for everything you do for Catfish Weekly. You have been a great asset. Through everything we go through every week, you're always here. You're ready to go, and that means the world to me.
Yeah, and I'll be here. I've been a big supporter since I've got back into catfishing. First time I've listened to Catfish Weekly and went back and listened to all the old shows and stuff like that. It's a show I believe in. I think there's a lot of room out there for this community to grow, and this show to grow with this new community, because we do have a lot of new people coming in, Lyle.
We do.
And we have a good opportunity to instill, like he said, that sticker right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. Now, Chad, tell everybody about your show on Thursday nights.
All right. First, Lyle, I do want to say thank you. I'm humbled that you asked, and honestly, I'll be here anytime you need me to help out. So greatly appreciate it. But yeah, on Thursday night we have the bait shop. James Dockery Fishing and I. It's not your everyday talk show when it comes to the catfishing or any fishing at all. It's a lot of fun. It's just it's a little bit different. We didn't want to do the same talks every night. But if you guys want to check it out, we're always in there to have fun, and just keep that in mind. We are in there having fun. We haze each other a lot. We haze our guests, but it's all in good. It's all in good fun.
It's all in good fun. It's a great time. Then we're right after that with Panfish Nation. And James, tell everybody about Wednesday night before we go.
Wednesday night, I really got kind of an open night. But for the next 3 Wednesdays, guys and gals, you might get bored, but we're going to hammer the tournament because there's a lot of more people out there that's kind of on the fence. So I'm going to be throwing some guilt trips at you. And if you can't make it, I'm going to be giving you the links that you need to help out this Camp Centurion. They're throwing the walls up right now, guys. So it's getting closer to start helping these veterans out.
And where can
we'll be hammering
hold of you about that, James?
They can.
If they want to know about the tournament, how can they find out more about it? I guess.
Basically through Facebook. But if you don't have Facebook, go ahead and text me at that 704-600-8369, and I will send you pictures of the rules and regulations. It's got the address and all of where we're going to be launching from. But if you've heard of Charlotte, North Carolina, it's the lake that borders that. So it's easy to look up and find. And anybody like Dieter, anybody over here in North Carolina knows about it. So
who's that?
If you message them, you can't get a hold of me or whatever, you can ask them and they will put you on the right track. So it's going to be fun. A lot of great YouTubers are coming. A lot of great tournament fishermen are there. So there's going to be some good competition on the lake in April. Guess what, Lyle? There's going to be some big fish brought to the scales.
I'm excited to be out there. I've got a cousin from on my dad's side of the family that lives around Charlotte area, and I'm going to get a hold of her. Tell her I'm coming because she don't even know it. It's 8 o'clock, boys. We're going to turn it over to Mark, and his guest for
All right.
tonight. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next Monday night on Catfish Weekly.
God
Get on
bless.
over there.